Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the challenge, to the channel. All right, it's been 30 days since my last video, and it's been 90 days since I first set out on this challenge, and it's pretty amazing. The results that I've gotten, um, and what I've learned along the way. That's kind of the biggest thing, right? Um, I highly, highly recommend that you take on some form of a challenge. It's going to be some limitation that is going to force you to operate at a higher level despite those limitations and those challenges and those circumstances. And it shows you what you're made of. It shows you what you've got, what you don't have, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And hopefully it gives you some results, right? So average to elite in 90 days. The whole point of this challenge was I was very nonchalant, very unprofessional about the gym for a very long time. And my results were very mediocre. I've heard people say before, it doesn't matter the training program or the nutrition or whatever, but if you just get in the gym and you actually work hard consistently, you'll get some results. And I didn't really work that hard and I wasn't really that consistent. I did get some results over the years. It took me way longer, way longer than it should have to get those results. But anywho, so I went into this challenge with a solid base of fitness. I have had some improvements and some gains and stuff like that, so some experience. However, I think the biggest piece to this was having my best friend. He's on YouTube. You should definitely check him out. Forsey Fitness, Tyler. He coached me the whole way, and support is so important. Coaching and mentorship and teaching. Absolutely important. It's really hard to do things completely by yourself with no feedback from an outside perspective. No one to help you, not cut corners, but to overcome hurdles that otherwise you would just be like overthinking and picking your brain and whatever. So he was huge for that. And he's much further ahead than I, and he's been where I was. So he could, guide me along, so to speak. So, anyways, I'm gonna stitch a clip in here. Let's talk about results. So, my squat, right? My training philosophy is strength first, hypertrophy second, right? And so is Tyler's. He operates under a power building framework, which I love. It's the perfect balance between powerlifting and bodybuilding. So my squat, when I started this challenge in November, I was doing 245 for three sets of three. I'm now doing, just yesterday, it was my birthday, by the way. That's why I wanted to set the challenge up. I'm 29 now. Yeehaw. My squat now for three is 315. Three plates on either side. That's 70 pounds of an increase on an exercise, which is what? In 90 days, that's amazing. I'm so happy with that. For the back, my bent over, I'll show you a clip. I'll put the clip up.
That's it, brother. Come on now, big dog. Come on now. We've worked for this now. Let's go. That's it, lad. There you go. Good. Lots of air, Evan. Up. There we go. One to go. Come on. Lock in. Up. Yes. Easy money, brother.
Let's go.
Beauty. Easy money, yeah?
Easy.
Very easy. Yeah. Eh?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Come on.
Nice, dude. Yeah, dude.
For my back, bent over row, right? It's compound movement. It's pretty accurate. 155 was what I was doing for a bent over row for sixes. Now I'm doing 205 for bent over row. That's 50-pound increase. Let's go. All right. Finally, bench press. It was 205 for 3. Now it's 235. And that's a 30-pound increase. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's all pretty relative. That makes sense. Part of, and I'll get into later, why some of these gains, like 70 pounds gained on a squat in 3 months, that's not extraordinary or anything, but it's significant. And I think part of the reason is these numbers going in, my mindset was so mediocre and so average that when I go to a lift, I'm not bringing much intensity. I'm not bringing much focus. So I'm just kind of got the bar on my back. Okay, we're just going to move this weight. No, this sucks and whatever. But through the course of this challenge in these 90 days, I've gotten to a place mentally where, okay, the bar's on my back. Before the set, before the bar is even on my back, the self-talk is so positive. It is, let's go, brother. You got this. We're pushing this weight. You've done this before, even if I haven't, right? We've worked for this, right? Stay tight, deep breath, follow your cues, get in the moment, let's go, right? And when you've got the bar on your back, the self-talk is, this is moving. It's got no choice but to move. This is what I've worked for. I'm here to prove to myself that I can do this. Like, this is just levels different from where I was just a few months ago. And finally, my body weight. I was 195 pounds when I started this. I'm now 208, so 13 pounds of course, that's a mixture of muscle and fat, but I'm happy with it. That was my whole goal, was predominantly strength. And so you're going to gain some muscle, you're going to get a bit bigger. And I wanted to be over 200 pounds anyways, just walking around. So I'm very happy with that. Very happy with that. Just combined, I gained 150 pounds on my big three lifts. That's, you can't ask for much better there. So that's the results of the challenge. Some things I learned, right? Average to elite. The elite, I want to be like SpongeBob right now. Imagination. The word is discipline. Discipline. And here's the thing, right? I think everybody knows this. Everybody knows that discipline is the key to getting results in virtually any domain in life. But the question is, how do I get discipline? How do I build discipline? And it's kind of complex. It's kind of simple too. The simple answer is you just do it. You just do it. It's stop thinking about it. The thought came into your mind of, I want to do this thing, you just do it. And it's as simple as that. But on the complex side, you almost need to be in a position where you must be disciplined. So when I was in school, I was a big procrastinator because I knew I could procrastinate. Human nature is to take the path of least resistance. We just go where we need to go, not necessarily want to, because just wanting to do something, it's hard to muster up that effort and, the discipline to make yourself and force yourself to do something. But if there's an outside factor that's pushing you, that is limiting you and constraining you, then, there's a fire underneath you. Okay, then you're going to do it, right? So if you don't have anything pushing you forward, if you don't, and it could be anything, any number of factors could push you forward. I know people who are inspired by their children that they have. I have to lead by example, and I have to show them discipline and strength. And so I'm going to do this. They have a partner that they want to make proud and they want to show up for. And so be the best version of themselves for that person. But on the other end of it, your partner could actually weigh you down. You could feel like you're settling, or that you could do better, or they're holding you back. And so you're wondering, like, how do I muster up this discipline? But you're not in a position where you're required to develop discipline. And so that's one thing I would say, especially to young men, like, if you're very comfortable and you don't have anything pushing you forward, let go of some things. Realize what's important in your life, which is being the highest and best version of yourself possible, and let go of those things that aren't really serving you. And you'll find that discipline. You will. It'll come, because now you're in a position where you have no choice. You gave these things up for what? Just to sit around and do nothing with your life? No, you're going to push yourself. You're going to go hard and you're going to display that discipline. So, sometimes it's just a fluke. Sometimes it's like, you have an unfortunate event happen, a family member passes away or something, and you're slapped with the reality of like, oh shit, like I got to get my life together. And that's what gives you the discipline, the boost, whatever. Some of those things are out of our control, but some of those things are in our control. And usually your conscience is guiding you of, oh, this isn't good, or maybe I should fix that. But, things aren't catastrophic yet. There's no pressure to do anything. And so you sit there and in your self-pity, you feel bad for yourself and you make excuses for why you're not doing things. But really it's about, scooping the nuts, having some courage, and put yourself in a position where you can develop that discipline. The other thing that's extremely important to be paired with discipline is a winning mindset. And what is a winning mindset? It's finding the positive. Even if everything is negative, even if everything is going to shit, and you've got all these excuses, and oh, this is sore, and I didn't sleep good last night, and I didn't have anything to eat, it's transmuting that negative into a positive. And it's telling yourself, I know all this shit is like going bad, but I'm going to make it work anyways. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to make it happen regardless. And that's what a winner is. When you're down on the scoreboard, winners don't succumb to those negative thoughts and say, oh, well, the game is over, right? There's only 10 minutes on the clock. Like, there's no chance we could come back now. Like, it's over, But a winner says, no, we got this. Let's go. Let's make it happen. This play, this time up the court, this time down the ice, whatever. You find a way to win. And when it comes to the gym, it's about, no workout exists in a vacuum, right? Because you understand that a workout is only as powerful or efficient as the workout before it. And this workout sets up the next workout. So all these workouts are connected. And so when you have this winner's mindset, it's about learning from the last workout and taking those factors into consideration for today's workout. But then it's also structuring this workout so that you set yourself up very positively for the next one. So for example, last session, it wasn't great. You went for a high number and you weren't feeling good and you didn't get the numbers that you wanted. And so you kind of backed off and you took the L. It was a loss. Wow, shit. Now you're not feeling so great about today's workout because you're back in the same place where you just lost the last game. Whereas if you structure the workout so that you say, okay, I know I'm not feeling great. I know I had a shit sleep. I know I didn't eat well, whatever. Then pull back the reins a little bit. Give yourself some grace. Not every workout has to be knocked out the park, right? You can still work at a lower, weight or a higher rep range or lower sets or whatever, and still come out with a win, still be proud of the work that you've done. And that's extremely important because even on a subconscious level, when you step into the building where you've just been losing, you feel embarrassed because you're not making progress and, you couldn't lift that weight last time and all this, that affects you. That affects your body language and your posture and how present you'll be able to be for lifts. But if every lift, even if you're not hitting your numbers, you structure the weights, the reps and the sets in a way that you feel good about it. whether that means building up slowly and ending maybe a little bit lower than what you know is your best or what you could have done, but it was still solid progression and you feel good about it, or you know, pumping, you know, your shoulders after a decent chest a bench, so that you're like, oh yeah, you know, I still got those endorphins, I'm feeling good, I'm still feeling amped for the next chest workout. Winner's mindset with discipline, it's a wrap. It's, you know, done. The other thing, you know, that kind of plays into the winning attitude, the winning mindset, is like, you got to reward yourself. This is hard work, man. This is very hard work. And it's not easy. And you have to recognize that, you know, what I'm doing here is very good. And I have to give myself some grace, you know. If your body is being beat up after 5-6 days in a row in the gym or whatever, it shouldn't be that many days consistently in the gym. But anyways, take a day off, just relax. It's all good. Maybe go for a walk, you know, nothing crazy. If you hit a PR or something, celebrate. Like, you got to take those wins and recognize your own progress, because there's not going to be very many people who are going to do that for you. You know, a lot of us are very lonely and we don't have a whole lot of friends, or we're not very close with our parents if we have them or whatever. And so you kind of got to be your own best friend and your own coach and recognize how hard you're working and the progress that you are making. And, you know, that's just like loving yourself and accepting yourself, right? So I would get, you know, a donut after a PR or whatever, just like a reminder of like, I earned this. Like, you know, this is for all my hard work, consistent hard work. So, doing what you can with what you've got where you're at, right? That's it. That's what it comes down to, is you can make so many excuses that, oh, I don't have the right equipment, I don't have access to the nice gym, I don't have a coach, I don't have, you know, the right shoes, or I don't have a lifting belt, or, you know, my nutrition at home is not great, I can't really afford great groceries, or everything at my parents' place is processed food, or, you know, I'm on a really crappy mattress, so I'm not getting good sleep, and so this is sore and that is sore. And you can choose to make those excuses, but just realize that there are people who are in much worse positions than you, who have many more excuses than you, who are still showing up consistently, putting in the work, and reaping the rewards. That should be enough. Like, anytime I see a video of these dudes over in Africa lifting like buckets of water for their bench press, I'm like, oh, I have no excuse. I have no excuse. It's not like, the gym for me is 40 minutes away. It's a 40-minute drive. Thankfully, I have a car and I can afford to put gas in it and insurance and all that to get there and pay for the gym membership. But I could have made that excuse of, it's too far away. And I could make that excuse every day, but I didn't, and I won't. I refuse to, because the results are more important to me. I know that if I just eat that gas bill and sit in a car for an hour and a half almost every day, that I'll show up, I'll put the work in, and I'll reap the rewards. So it's, you know, doing what you can with what you've got where you're at. Take that very seriously. You know, there's so many excuses. Just do something, right? Even if you're at home, do some push-ups, like bodyweight squats, you know. I used to work out with a big water jug, like those big water fountain jugs, just row those, you know, lie on the floor and press it up, or squat with it, a front squat. Like, there's so much that you can do. It's really just up to your creativity and imagination. But get it done. Like, it's super important. And the last point here kind of wraps around to the results. It's like, a lot of it in the gym, a lot of it is mental. Like, what separates even some of the highest levels of competition, not that we're trying to, you know, compete at the highest level or anything, but we're just trying to get solid results. A lot of it is mentality, right? It's And it's not just one thing. It's not just your mentality underneath the bar. It's the mentality of when the thought first arrives in your mind, I should go to the gym. It's agreeing with that. Yep, I should. I'm going to pack my bag, put my gear in there, get my car ready, get in the car, go. Do it. Like none of this, but I don't have time, or I didn't really eat very much, or whatever. Just go do it. And as soon as you get there, you're locked in, right? Like there's no turning back. Like you're going to walk in, you're going to get dressed, you're going to go do some lifts. Even if you do one exercise, right? That's one exercise that you wouldn't have done otherwise. And that's progress. And you need to recognize that. Take those wins. I think like the standard on social media, we're all brainwashed to where unless we have six pack and we're squatting 500 pounds that we're like useless and we're weak and we're not good enough. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We're human beings and we're just doing our best. And that's it. That's all I'm trying to talk about here and preach. And that's all I can hope for myself. And that's all I can hope for you is to just do your best. Do what you can where you're at with what you've got, you know? And, but with the lifts, a lot of it is mental. Like I thought starting that I was really trying hard and I was being intense and I was focused. But it's almost it's only once you have those constraints, those limitations, once the weight starts to get really heavy and it pushes you very close to your limits and sometimes past your limits, you realize that wasn't your limit. Oh, right. It's actually after that because I passed it and now there's a new limit, right? And you can think that you're trying hard in the gym. A fun exercise I used to do. I don't recommend you do this. I had a problem with it back in the day, but I would every now and again, I'd smoke weed before I went to the gym. And I would go in with no preconceived notions, no plans, right? No structured plan for what I was going to do in the gym. And so if I was like curling, for example, with dumbbells, usually I go in and I curl 25 pounds and I do that for 10 reps. Well, I'd go in like high with no plan and no memory really of like what I was lifting at the time and just being super present and feeling my body a lot more from the cannabis. I would just pick up the 35s and okay, I log it in my app and my app tells me, oh, new PR. And you did the same amount of reps and the same sets, but with 10 pounds more. Like what? And I'm like, holy shit. But it's because I didn't have the mental constraints, the habitual patterns. You know, it was something that knocked me out of my mental space in a good way, where I didn't have that negative self-talk of like, all I've ever done is the 25s. I can't do 30s, let alone 35s, right? No way. I just went in there free, present, picked these things up and lift them. So the message is you are far more capable than you think you are. Truly. And it's all mental. Like it's mostly mental. I want to say it's all mental. It's certainly mostly mental, if not all. You just have to let go of who you think you are and what you're capable of, to open yourself up to who you really are and what you're really capable of. And once you really start walking that path, you start to get addicted to the feeling of proving yourself wrong, of like, oh yeah, I knew I could do, like, I didn't know I could do this. I know it now and it's dope. Like it feels great. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this. I love this challenge. I highly recommend it to anybody. Really it's just, even just thinking to yourself, all right, I'm pretty average right now. What could I do to be elite? Let me do that for 90 days. And your newsflash, you're not going to do it straight for 90 days. You're going to fall down. You're going to mess up. You're going to fall off the horse. But it's kind of like meditation in a way, where the whole idea is to like, okay, focus on the breath, focus on the breath, focus on the breath. What am I gonna have for lunch? Oh, I hate that she said that. That was so stupid. I gotta text my mom. Oh, focus on the breath, focus on the breath. It's just coming back to it. And the elite are just really good at picking themselves up, coming back to it. You know, like a Kobe Bryant, who is like elite of the elite. People would say, you know, when I think in 2011, maybe, he went to the finals and lost. I don't know what year it was, but, and Chris Bosh tells this story about him. And lost in the finals, and I guess there was Olympics coming up or something like that. And like 2 or 3 days later, Chris Bosh goes to race Kobe to breakfast. Got up super early, gets to the dining room, and Kobe's there eating breakfast already, so he didn't race him, but he's sweating, and he's got ice packs on his knees, meaning he got up over an hour earlier, trained, and is now eating breakfast. Like, that was just such the mentality, the Mamba mentality of Kobe Bryant, having just lost the finals just days earlier. He didn't wallow in self-pity and, oh, I'm terrible, I'm shit, I'm no good. He just got up and got after it. And that's the same thing with this challenge, is like, you're going to fall down, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to, you know, make excuses, but just recognize that, forgive yourself, and just get right back to it. It's as simple as that. So anyways, this video has been going on way too long anyways, but I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something. I don't know really where I'm going to go with this next. I mean, I'm going to continue to work out and get these gains and get these numbers up, get stronger. With the videos, I got some ideas for the show. I might throw some stuff in, but regardless, you'll see me around for sure. And I really appreciate you liking, commenting, your thoughts, any questions, all that stuff, and subscribing if you haven't. Really appreciate you. Much love. Thank you very much. Mwah.